keeping an eye on out there. And of course, we have a new area to watch in the Atlantic, which at least early on has a little potential, but it has a long way to go across the Atlantic and a lot of potential pitfalls with drier air and also wind shear. So those will be two things we're going to have to watch. Hey, for our friends this morning that dealt with Brett last week, you remember that went over Trinidad? Well, there's a cluster of thunderstorms that's working its way toward you. So an area that doesn't see a whole heck of a lot of wet weather, we'll actually have some this morning to deal with. We don't think this is going to develop. It's going to stay pretty far to the south and then just become absorbed in the main flow. But this is the area that we're watching. Some of the computer ensemble products yesterday actually gave this a chance of developing. I think it's pretty slim once it gets past the Azores right in through here because of the fact that you've got dry air that's coming down around this upper air low. We also have a tremendous amount of wind shear too. You see this upper low that's sitting up to the north? Even though that may not be as strong in a couple of days, the real way to get these waves to develop in the main development region this time of the year is for them to be traveling down south, like Brett did. So we're talking about something that's 10 degrees or even less. It's not going to spin great, but it is going to have a better chance of developing down through here. We'll see how this goes. We have plenty of time to watch it. The good news is, as you head into your July 4th weekend, we are not watching anything that will threaten the United States from the tropical Atlantic.
All right, Jim, thank you so much. And we are watching a hurricane now just off the coast of Mexico. This is Hurricane Dora with Category 1 winds of 75 miles per hour, moving west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. The thunderstorm's really beginning to settle down right now. Certainly some large surf coming into Cabo San Lucas. Here's the visible satellite picture. You can see there's a lot of what we call inertial stability. The spin still going strong even as those thunderstorms are beginning to calm down here. And it's expected that the storm is going to weaken pretty dramatically as it moves out towards the west and become a tropical depression in the next couple of days here. Now, you might be wondering, does this mean that we could ever possibly get a tropical system to come up to California or parts of the southwest? And the short answer is yes, but it's very, very hard. And here's the reason why. You've got exceptionally warm water south of Mexico. 80 degrees is what is generally requisite for tropical systems to develop. You can see water temperatures actually getting up into the low 90s in some parts of the eastern Pacific here. But where that storm is now, it's just crossing over into an area where the water is a lot cooler. There's a cold current that runs down along the coast of the western part of the U.S. And so the water's much, much colder out here. And as soon as that water gets colder, well, then the hurricane loses what it needs for its energy supply. Now, later in the season, we watch that warmer water get a little farther to the north. So it is conceivable that if it was late in the season and you got an exceptionally strong storm, say a major hurricane, and it was really rapidly picked up and taken up into California and into the southwest, that you could get tropical storm force winds in California. It has not happened very much, and in fact, the only time that we have ever seen hurricane force winds in Southern California is going back to October of 1858 as a hurricane grazed the coast of San Diego there and moved right along the coast. And again, that's the only time we've gotten hurricane force winds. Now, at the time, in 1858, there were 4,000 people in San Diego County. There are now more than 3 million people in San Diego County. So if a similar storm were to hit today, it could cause hundreds of millions of dollars in damage there in Southern California. There's another little wrinkle to this, and that is that there is very warm water all up through the Gulf of California right in there. So if the storm were to travel right up along the Gulf of California with its core being over that very warm water, it is certainly possible that you could see tropical storm force conditions, maybe force conditions in parts of the southwest in California, but it's a very, very difficult thing to do. Mark, Alex, back to you.
Thank you, Carl. A chance for severe weather that could last for the next couple of days.
Man, when you need to